Welcome to the Unit 7 Review Sheet Solution tutorial for the spring. In this video, I will be covering question 6. Question 6, it says, find the measurement of the indicated angle. This is the angle. And remember, when we try to find an angle, we are going to use the what? The inverse trig ratio. Okay, so let's do this. So this is the question mark. I'm just going to put the symbol here, which is theta. All right, and that's what we're going to try to find. So let's label it. So let's draw our guy right here at the angle. And the 38 is your adjacent, and your 27, which is your opposite. So adjacent and opposite. Oh, sorry. Opposite over adjacent, which is your TOA. So it's going to be tan of that theta is going to be equal to your opposite over your adjacent. Now we can plug it in. Okay, your opposite was your 27 and your adjacent, which is the value of 38. The theta here, to do it, we use the inverse. So theta is now equal to tan inverse, or tan to the -1, parentheses 27 divided by 38. Okay, now this is going to require us to use our calculator. And to access the inverses, you need to hit function tan inverse of 27 divided by 38. That gets you the value 35.39. Rounding it to the nearest tenth, should be 36.4. So theta is 36.4 degrees. Okay, let's just double check that. 36.4. That is correct. Good. Let's do B here. Same process. We're trying to solve for this theta, which is this missing angle. We draw our person, label our information. 10 is your opposite, 39 is your hypo. So here I have opposite and hypo. So this is going to be my show, or my sine. Sine of the theta is going to be equal to always your opposite divided by your hypotenuse. Now I have that, so I can make now the substitution. So the substitution here for my opposite, which is going to be 10. My hypo, HYP, is your 39. That theta, to solve for that theta, we used our inverse. So theta is equal to sine inverse, parentheses 10 over 39. That's going to require us to use our calculator. Hit function, sine inverse 10 divided by 39. That gets you 14.85. Rounding it to the nearest tenth, it should be 14.9. So theta is 14.9 degrees. Let's do C. We're just trying to solve for this angle theta here. This is where we draw our person. We now label information. 11 is your adjacent. 27, which is your opposite. So this is going to be adjacent and opposite. No, sorry, not adjacent and opposite. It's adjacent and this is your hypotenuse. So this is your adjacent and hypotenuse. This is going to be your ka, or your cosine. It's going to be cosine of theta is equal to your adjacent, which is ADJ divided by your HYP, your hypo. Let's now solve. So your adjacent is the value of 11, and your hypo, HYP, is your 27. To get theta, we use our inverse. So theta is going to be equal to the inverse. So it's going to be cosine -1 parentheses 11 over 27. So theta is going to be equal to, now we plug that into our calculator. Hit the function, cosine inverse 11 divided by 27. That gets you 65.95, or rounding it up gets you 66. So this should be 66. Okay. All right. Let's do D. Here's the angle, which is now on top, but we do the same process. We draw our person here. 13 is your closest one. That's your adjacent. 20 is your hypo. So here, adjacent and hypo should still be cosine. So it's cosine. The theta is going to be equal to 13, which is your adjacent. Let me just write that out. Adjacent divided by your hypo. I'm just writing it out so you can see all the steps. Now we can make the substitution. So here, the adjacent becomes 13. Your hypo, which is 20. Now to solve for theta, so it's theta equals to, let's do the inverse of this. So this should be cosine inverse parentheses 13 over 20. Now we plug that into the calculator. Function cosine inverse 13 divided by 20. All right, that gets you 19.45. Rounding it to the nearest tenth should be 14.5. 14.5 degrees. Wait, hold on. Let's just double check that. 14.5 degrees, right? Yeah. Good. And there you go. That is how you find. That's how you do number 6. Remember, please understand, number 6, we're trying to find the angle. That's the reason why all these are using your inverses. Okay? All inverses of your trig ratios.